Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland. Today, we're going to discuss some big matchups that are going on, but first we're going to talk about the Cowboys and the Chiefs. This is a very, very interesting matchup. When you look at the Chiefs, you saw what they were able to do in the first game. Alex Smith looked comfortable in the offense, spreading the ball around, getting guys involved. They were able to take an early lead, but it was against a Jacksonville Jaguar team that doesn't really know who they are. Quite frankly, what is it, a SEC team? I don't know. They don't even know. But they're not a contender or a football team that's going to give you any trouble. So now they come up against a Cowboys team who, with that Monty Kiffin defense, turned the ball over 6 times. I don't care how you get the turnovers, but they got turnovers. This is a team who only had 16 turnovers as a whole last year, got 6 in one game, making Eli Manning look like a fool. These two teams are going to be a very interesting watch. And reason being, I want to see if what we saw from this Cowboys team, is it what we think it is? They have talent on that defensive side of the ball. I thought their pass rush and that front seven looked fast. They looked tenacious. And everywhere the ball was, there was white and blue shirts all over it. Only question I have is how quickly Eli Manning, when they had the opportunity and when he had the time and when he wasn't going all, Rex Grossman-like throwing interceptions, they were able to move the ball down the field pretty quick and put points on the board. Alex Smith, he has weapons. Lamar Charles, we know what Andy Reid likes to do is getting him out into space. Can they be effective against this Cowboys defense? We're going to see. I personally think that they can, but I think Tony Romo is going to come back out after getting a little bit dinged up in that first game. Dez Bryant not getting off like we thought. We have some key elements in Miles Austin and Williams there being able to be some relief, to draw some attention. They had some catches. Jason Witten doesn't look like the same Jason Witten, but he's still that security blanket for Tony Romo. Even if they don't get the running game going, we know what Tony can do. I expect the Cowboys to win this football game, and I expect them to win this football game just for the simple fact that I think this defense will generate enough turnovers to cause the Chiefs to fall short. Now we're going to take a look at some other action going on, taking place on Sunday around the league. And first, we're going to start with the Lions and the Cardinals. The Lions look tenacious. And quite frankly, this whole NFC North division is kind of scary. They had it going on both sides of the ball, on defense, on offense. We know what Megatron can do. I thought Carson Palmer looked halfway decent in his start with the Cardinals. Fitzgerald looking great. They just couldn't finish the job, and the task does not get any easier with this football team. They're going to be facing Megatron and that offense. Reggie Bush went off. I expect him to do the exact same thing. I expect him to get better. I don't know if the Cardinals are ready to face a football team that is just so fluent right now. I think the Lions take the win in this game. We move on to the Saints and Bucks. We know that this is a division game. It's going to be a slobber knocker, but I tell you what, we know what Drew Brees brings to the table. As we stated before, with Peyton coming back and being with this football team, they have something to prove. I expect nothing different. The Bills were in a dogfight with the Jets team. The Bucks, were in a dogfight with the Jets team they had no business being in. They have way more talent than that football team, and they just seem to underachieve. Is it the quarterback? I don't know, but I see them underachieving again. Saints win this one and win it big. We move on to the Giants and Broncos. Do we need to even talk about what the Giants did? It was awful. I don't see it getting any better against a Peyton Manning football team. The defense of the Giants really was made to look a little bit better than what I think they are. And we know what the Giants offense looked like. Broncos all the way in this football game. Raiders, Jags. Raiders fans, you lost last week. All I'm gonna say is you're gonna get a win this week, and we all know why. Basically, I hate to do this because there are NFL players on that side of the ball. If you can come and play like you did last week, you can just consider it a bye week, because it's gonna be on easy street. Raiders get the win here. We're not even talking about the Jags. Our last matchup, Bills, Steelers. Bills take a tough loss from the Chicago Bears. AJ Green had a great game. Andy Dalton had too many turnovers. I see that changing this weekend against a team that has offensive line problems in preseason. They have offensive line problems to the 10th degree now. Losing Pouncey. Ben's not going to be able to stay upright. AJ Green has another big day because the defense is too tired, and we're going to see this Bengals team get a win in this game here. It's going to be some great matchups going on around the league. Now we take a look at another big matchup. It's coming to us on Sunday night. It's the Seahawks versus the 49ers. Cap versus Wilson. It's going to be a monster game. Monster game. Kaepernick puts up 404 yards, gets the Green Bay Packers. In that win, it was a shootout. We're talking about Seattle only putting up 12 points against the Carolina Panthers. Not saying anything. Carolina has a defense. I'm just saying, with all those weapons, that's all you could muster up was 12 points. Maybe a little jet lag. I don't know. But in this matchup, there's no excuses. It's on the same side of the country. No excuses of flying across country. These guys are going to be ready. It's going to be an amazing fight. Now, when you look at the Seattle Seahawks, they have the running game. Russell Wilson has the ability to scramble. He has tons of weapons from one side to the other. Tate, Sidney Rice, you know, he has a plethora of weapons out there to be able to throw to. He can throw to Marshawn Lynch out of the backfield. But this 49ers defense is quick, is fast, and they're going to come to get you. Now, Aaron Rodgers had a measure of success against this defense. I don't see anything different. I think this is going to be a shootout. Cap, you know what he can do. There wasn't a lot of read option in that game. I thought he went through his progressions very well. He looked very, very comfortable in the offense. They used very little of that read option. Hitting Vernon Davis, Anquan Bolden lighting it up. I think you see Frank Gore get back on track in this game. And I think we're going to see the 49ers take the win in this ball game. I just think they're a little bit more crisp. And hey, maybe it did have something to do with them traveling to the East Coast and being on the East Coast playing the Panthers kind of slowed down that Seattle Seahawks football team. Maybe they'll be a little bit better. But I think with what we saw against the Green Bay Packers, that this 49ers football team is going to be ready. And they're going to come out swinging. And we know that these two coaches do not like each other. And I think Cap is just a little bit more ready than Russell Wilson. Well, we thank you for watching our show. Again, if you have any comments on our show, please leave them at the bottom of the show. We'll get back to you. We'll keep the dialogue going with you. If you have any questions, if you have something that you want us to talk about and hear our take on, shoot us an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com. Your participation is very, very much wanted and appreciated. Again, you've been watching Straight Shooting Sports Talk.